What up, 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 what up? What's going on, y'all? Yes, indeed. Hold on, I ain't doing enough what ups. What up, what up, what up? What up, 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 what up? What's going on, America? Yo, we are back in the building for season 2. Listen, holla at your boys. It's Rod and Don in the building. Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show. Did you miss us? Of course you did. We're back in the building, season 2. You know we wasn't going to leave y'all hanging. Listen, this is what we do, all right? We talk sports. We talk sports. We talk football, basketball. We talk culture. We talk it all. And, yo, last night was on and popping. The whole Sunday was popping. Football is back. We're back. Everybody's feeling good. Listen, we can't wait. We got a dope fire show for y'all tonight. But what's up to my boy Don? Look at Don, y'all. He's in the building. His teeth are still white as snow. Still got clean teeth.
Oh,
boy.
man.
What's going on, boy?
So much. Such an impressive victory for the Niners. We have since the end of season 1, so much has happened, so we have so much to unpack, but we're going to stick to the NFL. So great storylines. So it's going to be exciting, man. We got some good stuff to get into, man. But without further ado, man, let's do it. Okay, well, listen, as Rod mentioned, season 2, we are just discussing week 1 NFL. There has been some impressive games. Let's start off with the 49ers. 49ers played on the road. Now, I heard a lot about Brock Purdy, a lot about it was a fluke. It was lightning in a bottle. This was something that is not sustainable. That the league is going to catch up to him. And a lot of the so-called pros picked the Steelers to beat the Niners. Yeah. Mike Tomlin, he's a great coach. The Steelers, they got J.J. Watt back. And so it's like, oh, they're going to be ready for him. Brock Purdy has it. We got Brock Purdy's number. We got there and we completely dismantled them.
Facts.
And it was an impressive victory because on both sides of the football, we actually dominate. Like special teams, defense, offense, everything was on display. It was impressive from top to bottom. There wasn't anything where one side of the offense or any particular part of the team excelled. It was just Brock Purdy looked poised. Now, I will say this. The only quarterback in history to win his first 6 games with a passer rating over 95 and to throw 2 touchdowns each game. We got to give him credit. I don't want to hear anybody say Mr. Irrelevant anymore. His name is Brocklyn Purdy, okay? Brock Purdy. Put some respect on his name. What do you say?
Listen. I'm not going to cap, no doubt. Y'all did your thing. Completely annihilated the Steelers. I ain't gonna lie, I thought that game would have been a little more competitive. Look, it was really centered around, Kenny Pickett in his second year, and maybe we would have seen some improvement, but they were overwhelmed, no question about it. The Steelers had nothing to offer. Okay, I mean, Watt did a couple things here and there. They got some pressure, and the defense, the actual defense didn't play too bad. The offense gave them nothing, but at the end of the day, Niners just overwhelmed them completely. Like, listen, y'all still not at this level yet. Y'all got some more development to do. No question about it. Offense looked good for y'all. Purdy he looked poised, and Purdy. And I told you in season 1 that he was your guy. And clearly he was. Clearly he was healthy. Hence the Trey Lance trade. Because he was the man. He was going to clearly go ahead and it was a no-brainer for Shanahan to make him the starter. He looked good. Ayuk, I think you might have a little something there. That might be his guy. You know what I mean? We'll see. But, it's and CMC looked good, had the big run and everything like that. So, on all cylinders, y'all were definitely rocking. So, the Steelers, again, just overwhelmed, overmatched. They just really had nothing. You know what I mean? And your backers, Greenlaw and Warner, they're just animals back there. Just animalistic linebackers, to just say the least. So, y'all did your thing. You know,
am I reading into it a little too much that you're kind of downplaying what the Steelers are to kind of, in a way, downplay what the Niners did? Because you're like, oh well, the Steelers are a good team.
They're look, they have a good defense, which they had last year.
It's difficult to win.
Yeah,
there, right? It's a road game for the Niners, right? So they're better at on. I mean, the Steelers are great at home, right? Tomlin is a good coach, so let's not try to necessarily. Well, you know, we made them look overwhelmed. That was more of us. Let's not talk about Pickett because he looked good in preseason, and I know it's preseason, right? But he looked good towards the end of the regular season last year. He has offensive weapons, right?
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
What's his
receivers?
name? Yeah. What's the other dude's name?
I forget his name. I know who you're talking about. The other boy.
Pickens.
Well, Pickens, yeah, Pickens, and Pickens is, you know, he's the
Najee Harris.
Odell coming,
He's
yeah.
Local.
Then you got the two backs, the two backs.
Local kid from Antioch. I mean, so they have a good team. So let's not. I think what the Niners were able to do was impose their will from the start, and they did what they were supposed to do once they got to that point. They kept their foot on their necks and forced them. Yeah, I think that's. See, in that face, because wait till we talk about the Cowboys. Wait till we talk about the Cowboys and Giants.
But believe it or not, I'm going to be very, very impartial there as well. I'm going to be very impartial because the way the Steelers were so overmatched by the 49ers from front to back, from top to bottom, it's the same thing even with the Cowboys and Giants. So when we get to talk about that, I'm going to pretty much give you the same take. I mean, D, look. Cowboys, as has been stated, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles. In my opinion, is really Cowboys and 49ers because the Eagles, to me, and they didn't look impressive at all. Yes, I won't say at all, but they didn't look that impressive.
Let me just add this real quick. Just as it rolls off the tongue, don't say Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles when one was in the NFC Championship game, one went to the Super Bowl, and one got eliminated 2 years in a row. So, if anything, you can say 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, or you can say Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys, but Cowboys shouldn't be the first thing that comes up. They have something to prove.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Number one, we own the Eagles. We have been for the last several years. The Eagles is they're no question. They went into the Super Bowl. But let's just be honest. Okay, and to your defense, it pains me to say this, but the truth is they would have lost in that NFC Championship if Purdy doesn't get hurt. All right. Y'all was one-dimensional.
Absolutely.
And I can also say the same thing about the Cowboys in the 49er game. As good as the game that was, and we literally shut y'all down offensively, if Pollard doesn't get hurt and we become one-dimensional in the second half, there's a chance, even despite Dak's two crucial, red zone interceptions, Dallas still could win that game. But once we lost Pollard, that was it. So both teams were handicapped. The Niners in the championship game, Cowboys in the divisional round. So, I mean, these things can bounce either way, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think the Eagles would have beat y'all if Purdy doesn't get hurt. And I don't think so either. Yeah,
but
so I'm just saying.
But I think we still would have beat you guys even if Pollard didn't get hurt. Because
we don't. It's hard to say because we would have kept y'all a little honest with a running game. We didn't have that. We only ran the ball one time in that whole second half. Zeke wasn't going to give you anything. Davis came in, who's now on the practice squad this year. He only ran the ball one time. So Pollard was a huge piece of our offense. That's like losing CMC. So I mean, it was huge. So like I say, it's those three teams in the NFC East. The NFC Conference that are going to compete for the representation of an NFC in the Super Bowl. So, but I think when you look at the Steelers yesterday, yes, they're a good team. They've got potential. We do expect them to play well. They're still at the bottom of their division. They're not better than the Browns. And as bad as the Bengals played yesterday, they're still not better than the Bengals. And they're not better than the Browns or Baltimore. So I think at the end of the day, what you saw in that game with the 49ers and the Steelers is, again, the contrast between a team that's here versus the team that's still coming. And Pickett was overwhelmed. He's never seen anything like what he saw yesterday. So they're and then it's a week 1 performance too. They just wasn't ready. And look, most offenses start slow in week 1 anyway. Most offenses are not really up to par. Although we saw some, Chargers and Bengals. Chargers and Dolphins yesterday. They put up some points, and so we saw teams kind of light it up a little bit offensively. But at the end of the day, usually the offense is going to start slow in week 1. So that's how it works. But listen, no, I'm not taking nothing away. But D, you can't. But don't try to make it either like y'all beat a competitor, a real bona fide team that was going to give you competition, and y'all need to be like pumping your chest out because you manhandled and just took them to the woodshed, as Shannon Sharp said this morning. That's not, no, you don't get to do that either. You know what I'm saying? No, they didn't, y'all beat a mediocre team at the end of the day when it's all said and done. But they do have a good defense, but y'all got too many weapons. They were overmatched. It was a wrap. And you knew that was a wrap, D. No doubt. You know that.
Well, a lot of pros didn't pick them to win.
Which I'm surprised. Just goes to show that they ain't pros. They don't know what they're talking about. That's why you watch Brooklyn Bids and Ball, right?
This is true. Let's move on to the Cowboys and the Giants.
Okay.
I'll let you start this. I'll let you start Cowboys and Giants.
Okay. Well, listen, Cowboys and Giants, look. Woo! All I want to say, as in the words of Deion Sanders, we coming. And that defense is legit. We led the league last 2 years in a row in takeaways. This defense is legit. Okay? Legit. And the truth is, people talk about Micah Parsons, obviously the dog, and who I do believe he can win Defensive Player of the Year. But the thing is this, we have so many guys coming. No one can block this front 4. No one can block the front 7 because you got so many guys that are coming at you, from Fowler to Odigizou to Sam Williams to Doris Armstrong, who had 8.5 sacks last year, got 2 yesterday. And then D-Law, of course. We got guys that are coming. This defense is hunting. They hitting. They covering. Now we don't have a weak link in the secondary any longer. Anthony Brown was the weak link the last couple of years. Now we got a bona fide Hall of Famer, most likely, in Gilmore. So listen, we are coming. Look, the Giants are a team, they'll figure it out as they go. The playoff team last year. So so we do get into semantics, okay? Steelers were not a playoff team last year. The Giants at least were, and they actually won a game in the playoffs. So they went into a divisional round. So, but at the end of the day, they're bad. They're really but the Vikings will definitely disappoint anybody, of course. So I give you that. They're not. It wasn't really nothing to be all applauding them for. But at the end of the day, they were a team that won a wild card game. And as bad as they have been inept in terms of offense, they still got it through, right? Because Saquon is 99% of their offense. But listen, did I expect Dallas to annihilate the Giants like that, to completely put on that kind of performance? No, I did not. A 40 burger, I didn't expect that. To have no points. Right now, of course, we're the number 1 defense in the league after week 1. We had 7 sacks, 3 takeaways, and nobody scored against us. So listen, it was a complete dominant performance, special teams. Now, here, let me say this, and I'll toss it to you. Because we dominated in the way we did, there was really no reason for Dak. I know everybody's going to talk about how putrid his numbers were or how pedestrian they were. We didn't need to do anything, right? We didn't need to sling the ball around and go ham out there. We didn't need to really do that because at the end of the day, the game was already won. It was, we already took the heart out of the Giants and an entire MetLife Stadium. The ball was wet. No reason to try to do stuff that would be complicated. Just run the ball, play football the way we need to. And that's what we did. And so, I would have liked to seen Dak punch it in a couple of times. He overthrew CD on one route. Ferguson, he missed it. He dropped a bad pass. Should have had that, as did Hendershot right there on the goal line there. Nice throw by Dak, but he dropped the ball there. I would like to have seen Dak. I like to have seen us get into the end zone maybe a few more times than what we did. But Dak, it's a little rust. He didn't play in the preseason like most starters did not. And so, it is what it is. But we made a statement yesterday. And I'm glad that we beat a team in our division. So that says a lot. Unlike your team that won against the Steelers. It's a good win. But, it doesn't impact too much because that's an out-of-conference win. But at the end of the day, Dallas did its thing, and yeah, we coming. So week 2 is when it all starts, when we see the Jets next week. So it's gonna be on. What say you about the domineering performance that the Dallas Cowboys had? And I want you to make sure you speak truth, you speak facts. I want to hear some love. I want to hear some love.
I'm going to be honest. I was not. I thought it was an impressive victory for the defense, and so was it in comparison to what the Niners did against the Steelers? I would think our game was more dominant from top to bottom. But I'll say this. How was your defense last year?
We had one of the top-rated defenses last year.
Exactly.
And we led the league in turnovers, yeah.
And so how was Dak as it pertained to turnovers? Did he lead the league in turnovers?
Yeah, he had 15 picks. Not all his fault. I mean, if we want to get into the
we're not talking about whose fault.
Still,
but the record is the record. Okay, yeah, so 15.
Well, we had the number 1 scoring offense too. But go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, but Kellen Moore is no longer there.
No, Moore is no longer there. No.
Okay, so the only issue I have is that the defense looked really good, but that wasn't the problem. The offense is the problem. Dak being accuracy with Dak, turnovers. Now, of course, if you're winning by 40 points, there's no need for you to put the ball. But that is not. We didn't gain or learn anything by watching you guys beat the Giants by 40 points. We don't know if the offense is 1 iota better than it was last year. We don't know if Dak is still, because in preseason, how many turnovers did he have in preseason? And that's a precursor for things to come. Turnovers forthcoming.
Dak didn't even play in the preseason. He never played.
I mean, not preseason.
Last season.
No. In their practices, he had like 10.
In practices. Yeah. He threw some picks. Yeah, he threw some picks in practices.
No, not some. Double digits. So I say all that to say that is something that that's not over yet. You have to see where a team is actually like. You don't know who you are until you're backed into a corner, right? And beating up on a team, the defense did everything. And as you mentioned, Dak didn't really have to do anything. His numbers were putrid, and they really should have been, because why are you throwing the ball? Why? I mean, Tony Pollard, he had 2 touchdowns. I mean, you guys, you had a short field. So that's not to speak to if he's able to sustain drives. He's able to, really utilize those weapons that you say that they have, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, and you have those players, right? And Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
So
Gallup. Yeah.
The Jets, I think, will be a better test, right?
They will be, of course,
for you guys. And I think if you guys are dominating that way against a team that has offensive weapons, should have a defense that's going to be pressuring Dak. And we're going to see a little bit of that tonight against as they play the Bills. We're going to really see a kind of a preview of what you guys can expect. Knock on wood, they come through that game with no significant injuries. That wouldn't give a true picture of how good they'll be. I think that's going to be more of a measuring stick, because once a team is, you beat up on a team and they lose confidence, obviously Dallas is a better team than the Giants. And once you lose confidence, once you pretty much put up 14 points, defensive points, it's really hard, especially the Giants, the main factor in their offense, because Darren Waller was coming in with a hamstring injury, so he wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, 70% of their offense is coming through, Saquon. So once a team has a lead, all they have to do is focus on what your strength is. And so if they stuff the box, there's nothing pretty much that they can do. Daniel Jones didn't have any time. That offensive line didn't provide anything. And I thought that they tried to maybe be a little too cute. They should have tried to get the ball out of his hands faster to get Saquon in space. And I think once it was just an avalanche. You guys looked really impressive, but I'm also factoring in how once you get up on a team like that, I think it's very tough for their psyche It was bad weather. It was just a lot of factors. But 40 zip, 40 is 40 zip. I think if you do that against the Jets, then I will be more on board with saying, hey, you might be on to something. I don't see that happening next week.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
I just think that, the Steelers aren't great, but I think the level of competition and what we were able to do, I think our victory was more impressive. And I'm not doing this, one up Dallas and what, big me, little you. I'm just saying from level of competition, because Steelers have a running game. They have offensive weapons. They have a good tight end, a decent tight end. Pat Fryermuth is a decent tight end. They have Najee Harris. They have Warren in the backfield to back up Najee. They got receivers on the outside. So the Giants are a little more one-dimensional. They are.
No, they are.
Mean, you can compare Kenny Pickett and Danny Dimes.
Jones, right? Danny Dimes. Don't even give him that nickname. But yeah, no. But
well,
see,
not after yesterday, but
to your point. But see, this is why again, the Cowboys. We never get the same level of grace that everybody else gets, right? Because you talk about how, we don't really know what this offense is going to be because they didn't really show us anything yesterday. And to your point, like you said, because the defense dominated and because the game was so lopsided in that sense that we really didn't have to, pull the cards out, right? We didn't really need to go into our bag to pull out anything. But how many games last year did Purdy benefit from that, right? Because again, you talk about the balance, right, of a team. But when you look at the Cowboys and 49ers, at the end of the day, it's not their offenses that get them to where they are. It's going to come down to their defense. At the end of the day, the 49ers, their bread and butter is their defense. I don't care what Purdy does. Ayuk and Kittle, y'all got weapons all across the board, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's that defense. And so Purdy had very pedestrian-like numbers for the times that he started last year, right? Kept it safe. Got to his weapons.
I disagree with that.
He didn't have no 400 yards. He didn't and Debo and Ayuk was getting 200 yards apiece in a game. No. So what I'm saying is that they played. Those gaudy numbers don't really always equate to wins. Tyreek Hill had 215 yards and they won by 2 points. Right, but that's the point I'm trying to make. You're saying that you don't know what we did not show, or again, kind of downplaying the Cowboys' offense in that game. But
I'm just saying,
but we've already shown enough. In other words, what we did last year, we led the league in scoring. We put up massive points the last 2 years. You can say what you want about Kellen Moore, but to his credit, the Cowboys were the number one offense the last 2 years under him in terms of points.
I'm not knocking him. You guys got rid of him.
No, we only got rid of him because he wasn't really doing enough to get other guys involved. He was still a little predictable at times. It was his play calling in crucial moments. But what I'm saying is this. Dallas didn't need to prove anything yesterday as far as Dak is concerned in the offense because we know what we can do. In fact, we only got better when we added a Brandon Cook to the offense. And we got, 2 really good tight ends from last year that we drafted who are going to really make a difference. And they played well last year, and we expect them to play again well this year. And now TP is the number one back. Deuce Vaughn is back there, although he didn't run really well yesterday. But the deal is, I'll say this, I'll end it with this. All I'm saying is that I get your point. Next week is going to be where the season starts for both the Niners and the Cowboys. Y'all play the Rams. Rams is a step up from what the Steelers are. Again, when you look at a Matt Stafford versus a Kenny Pickett, again, there's going to be definitely more competition as the season goes on. But my thing is with Dallas, we had a wet ball yesterday. There was a lot of rain. It really didn't make sense for Dallas to do anything beyond what they did yesterday. And that's all it was, and Dak only
I'm not knocking it. A W is a W. I don't necessarily think that the Rams is a step up because they're somewhat one-dimensional. They're depending on an aging quarterback and rookie wide receivers. Their running game is kind of suspect. They don't really have a effective running game. They do have somewhat of a defense that will kind of put pressure, but all you have to do to neutralize that is throw away from Aaron Donald. you can have Aaron Donald on on a hamster wheel. If you go away from him, right. I mean, there's ways. We have too much motion for Aaron Donald to really impact
win that game.
us.
Listen, y'all are gonna win that game, and like I said, I'm predicting right now, season 2, episode 1. It's going to be the 49ers and Cowboys in the championship game. That's what it's coming down to. That's what I'm predicting. Geez. And that's what we're going to see.
There is a battle. It seems like there will be. Well, we play week 5, right?
And so we play week 5.
You guys get through week 5 first, okay? That's the first thing, all right?
We will.
Make sure that you guys can beat us in week 5.
We will win week 5. Don't leave us in that.
See, whenever you listen, there is a certain right. Listen. There's a certain flow to truth, right? When someone speaks truth, there doesn't have to be there's no stammering. There's no any type of.
I was just trying to find the most clever way to say that we're going to win week 5. That's all I was just trying to say.
It's going to be an exciting game, and they both have an opportunity to possibly be undefeated going into it.
No, you're right. No, you're right, and we may very well be. You know what I'm saying?
Unless Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers has he's been a killer for us. I mean, his whole career. I mean, no question about it. I mean, he's a Dallas killer for sure, no question. But maybe that'll change now that he's not in the Green Bay uniform. We'll see. But now I'm looking forward to week 2. The Jet game is going to be good. Especially after we see tonight.
That should be good. And listen, all jokes aside, I tease Cowboys fans all the time. I think you looked really, really good. I do think it's going to be interesting to see because it is very easy and it's comfortable to play from ahead. Oh, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When you don't really, and your defense is giving you a short field, you're on the 20-yard line. I mean, they're fumbling the ball, sacking, they're blocking punts, blocking field goals, and running it back, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, and
5 forced fumbles yesterday.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Thank you, sir.
But I do that was good. I will never not give credit, and I won't try to diminish when a team looks good. Defensively, they looked to be elite. I just think that if you want to talk about a win in totality, that you got to see a glimpse of every aspect of a team. I think ours was more dominant, but I will say this: a 40-zip is a 40-zip.
Yeah, and a 30-7 is just as impressive if you ask me. So, like I said, I think the 49ers and Cowboys both have very dominant performances, as people would expect them to be, and so I think we're up for a really good season, seeing these teams as they parallel each other, down the stretch, because they both got elite defenses. So that's what it comes down to. So yeah. Okay.
Well, let's go on to let's talk about a little something off the subject.
Off the subject. Okay.
We'll talk about Undisputed versus First Take.
Wow.
So there has been a change. There's a new format for Undisputed. It used to be Skip and Shannon. And it was pretty much them. They would occasionally have some guests to be a third person. Right. Now it's like 30 people up there. There's Keyshawn, Michael Irvin, Skip, Rachel Nichols. Who else? Richard Sherman, Little Richard. I mean, everybody is up there. and so I was Little Wayne. I think that I understand what they're trying to do.
Right.
No, he's up. He's a guest. That's
I think he was on there the other day. Was it somewhere?
Yeah, he's on a couple of days a week. No, seriously. And so I think the format it's terrible. I think Skip he went tilt. I mean, I get it that he's getting Hall of Famers, he's getting, first round draft picks and Keyshawn, and he has Richard Sherman, who will probably be a Hall of Famer. He has Michael Irvin, obviously, and he has other people who have been kind of, kicked to the curb by ESPN. He's kind of bringing them back in and bringing people into the fold. But I think the format is a little distracting. I think it's a little bit too much talking. Skip is now dominated in the show. He a lot of times is just kind of standing there and he's like kind of watching a tennis match. He's watching Michael Irvin and Keyshawn go back and forth. And then Richard Sherman is bucking his eyes, whether he's in the studio or remote. And I think there's sometimes it could be too much of a good thing.
Right.
Now, I think you need a yin to the yang, right? If both people are on level 10, it doesn't work. You need somebody to be kind of down. So you complement each other, their strengths and gifts. And so I think that format is a little too much. What do you say?
No, I couldn't agree with you more, D. Before I get into that take, shout out to Michael Irvin, who got his settlement there with Marriott. Now he's back on NFL Network. And so it's good to see that that's behind him because, you know, Mike, I think, is a
was hurt by that
personality. He really was. He really was hurt. And you know, shout out to a lot of people that showed him a lot of love on Twitter. You know, even Cowboy haters showed him some love. You know what I mean? And so he was really hurt by that, you know, because we know Mike's history and of certain things. And, you know, thank God that's got settled, and now he's got that behind him, and he's back on TV, particularly NFL Network, because he really wanted. I think that's really he really wants to be. But I will say this, undisputed.
Did they say how much that? I know he sued for $100 million. It was undisclosed.
It was undisclosed. So I mean, he wasn't gonna get $100 million anyway. But you know, but I don't know. I'd be honest. I didn't read the article. Say it again.
I said you shoot for the stars, and even if you miss, you're amongst.
That's what you do. Yeah,
shoot for the moon, and even if you miss,
shoot for the moon, right? You'll still get
amongst the stars, right?
There you go. So you know, so he got some stars. So at least that much. So you know, and he gets his job back, and he's got 2 networks paying him now. So now he's good to go. So, but yeah, it's brutal.
It's one more thing before you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want. Does he wear Lee press-on nails?
You know, let me tell you something.
I'm out of here, this
show's
over.
Son. My son, man, he was like, he said, come here. Look at this. Yo, why
the nails
look like that? The nails is like really popping. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he got too much gloss on his joint. Like, it's like,
it's not Mike. Buff. You know how some people you can buff your nails and get those are
it's like
press-ons.
I don't know, man. I was a little nervous at that. I saw DK Metcalf with the black fingernails in that commercial, man. It's listen, y'all, America, don't worry. We touching a lot of cultural stuff too in this show. So y'all know how we do. So we gonna be getting into it. But that other commercial with Kittles and Fitzpatrick and stuff, that looked a little pause on that. Right? So
it was a lot of and more than it's not even subtle anymore.
No, it's not.
It's interwoven in so many. You can't escape it.
No,
if you turn off Brooklyn Beards and Ball, there'll be another. There's something behind it where there's still. If you shut your TV off, it's kind of burnt into your TV that something, some way, somehow is trying to infiltrate the psyche of your family, of what you think a normal structure is, a structured home, or what you think. Everything is alternative or alternate. It's really amazing how if they want stuff to get through, they find the way. You know, there was a time where let's say African American actresses and actors couldn't get leading roles, right? It was so tough. They had to really be the top notch, the Denzels, the Angela Bassett's, the like really top echelon actors and actresses to get an opportunity. And now it's like they make it the way society is going. They want everything to be just everything is welcome. We want it's a frustrating thing.
No, it is
because they want everything to be accepting and that's cool. We're not knocking anybody, but you have to at that point. Where are we as a society when you don't have you are not able to make a choice for yourself?
Right.
It's force-fed to you.
Right.
And if you disagree with it, I mean, whatever happened to agree to disagree? If it's not for me, hey, it's not for me.
Right.
If it's something I want to indulge in, yeah, I'll indulge in it. But if it's something I don't, I shouldn't be made to feel a certain type of way,
Correct.
or made to feel as the bad guy because I don't agree with that. That doesn't connect with who I am as a person, my morals, or how I feel about a situation.
Correct.
And so it's the time where you could really make a choice for yourself is gone.
No,
and if you make a choice, if you make a conscious decision, hey, this is what my life, the direction I want to go in, then it's
right.
Oh, well, yeah, but you're ostracizing this group and you're against that. Like, you can't be for something. Just because you're for something doesn't mean you're against something else.
Correct. Exactly. And unfortunately, that's how oppressive systems work, right? Because the way to shame you into something is I have to portray myself as the victim. So I have to say to you that you not agreeing with my agenda hurts me, and you're not being sensitive to my needs, right? As opposed to just being someone to say you are entitled to your freedom of thought, freedom of perspective, freedom of choice. You have a right to say, I don't agree with that. And because I say I don't agree with that does not mean that I'm dehumanizing you in any way. It's just that that's not my conviction. So, you know what I mean? But in order to push an agenda to oppress and to put people in bondage, I have to portray victimization, because then I get to guilt you into accepting what it is that I like. So that's the unfortunate part. So, we got to keep just, standing on conviction. And my thing has always been, America is a country, right, that's supposed to respect the rights of people as citizens. So,
right? Absolutely.
Just right. So then, hey, I'll respect yours. I don't have to agree with it, but I respect it just as long as I have the same opportunity to have platforms to push what my convictions are with the same level of freedom that you get to do yours with. And you don't have to agree with mine, but I at least I want to still be able to have the same equal opportunity to present what my convictions are, the same way you get to do yours. I don't want to be ostracized for doing it, and you shouldn't either, but just let us both have the opportunity to portray what we believe is truth to our hearts and what we believe is morally and ethically good. So that's it. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah. But no, I agree with you. Undisputed, it's a disaster. It's trash. And like you said too, you talked about the balance of having people who can kind of complement certain your personality or the way you portray your takes and that sort of thing. But now you don't have an antagonist, right? Because with Skip, you had Shannon, who was a Cowboy hater. So you had them. Now you got the number one Cowboy advocate, right? And Michael Irvin. Right. So now you got two Cowboys on there. Keyshawn, he kind of, deflects a little bit. But, look, Jerry Jones wrote you checks too, bro. So at the end of the day, right, you're still
you're on the take too.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So, and then Sherman Sherman just isn't, I don't know. To me, he's just not good. The problem with FS1 as a whole, and before I even say that, same thing with ESPN now, right? Because you got Shannon on there. So now Shannon is on there. He's a Cowboy hater along with Steve. So you had Michael Irvin on there on Mondays, kind of coming against, So you kind of like that. Him and Steve was going, Steve and they would be all like, oh, I got to hear this guy. You know what I mean? Now, you don't have that element anymore. So it kind of, both shows are kind of missing that, antithetical piece to one another. Absolutely. But the thing is, the problem with FS1 is they tend to try to just bring in a lot of big name talent, but they don't know how to harness them. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know how to really sometimes develop a person. If you think about it, outside everybody who they've got, like if you look at Colin Cowherd and you look at Skip, which is the two most important guys, right? These are guys that came off what? ESPN, right? They were all on ESPN. ESPN, you got to give them a little credit. They've developed their talent. They get people, your Ryan Clarks, your Dan Orlovskis, these guys kind of came up the ranks, and your Swagoos, and they kind of developed a personality. And so they was able to kind of put these guys in position, even Kendrick Perkins on the basketball side of things, these guys kind of came up, whether you like them or not, but they become personalities. And I think that's what FS1 lacks. They don't know how to, outside of Shannon Sharp, there was really nobody that they can honestly say that they helped kind of grew. Even though Sharp was on ESPN and he did other stuff, but he really obviously being on Skip's platform. Yeah, right. TBS as well. CBS rather. Yeah, CBS, he was there. But clearly he made a name for himself getting on Skip's platform. FS1, that's the problem with me with that station. They don't really know how to really harness. I think Acho is a star, and even he, I think, came from ESPN too at one point. So, I think he came and so I don't know. Their shows just need a little bit more. Although I do like Speak, I think is crap though. I think he's trash. Shady McCoy. Oh my God, he's brutal. He's brutal. I mean, brutal, bro. He is like, you are like just vomit when you talk. Like it's
my favorite show is First Things First. I like that dynamic with Chris Broussard, and see that's a good balance of a show because
it is. Yeah, I like First.
You got someone that is overly Chiefs is this. You got a voice of reason. You have the other guy, and then they have occasional people that come in, that kind of give a different perspective that may not be, tilted to one side or the other. So I think that on FS1 platform, I think that's my favorite show because it's a.
I thought he would be good to go with Skip though. What's his name? The guy on First Things First. The main guy. What's his name? The guy with the hair.
Oh, the one that loves LeBron.
Yeah, and he's married to the black wife. What's his name? The guy, I forget his name. But
it's on the tip of my tongue.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I thought he would be good to counter Skip. I thought, you know what I'm saying? Because he has that argumentative side. He makes good points, whether you like him or not. But the way he articulates his points is pretty good. So I thought he would have been something good, or even an Acho. I thought would have, been interesting to have there too. But Undisputed is brutal. Trust me, mark my words, America. That show is going to get broken up before the season is over. Trust me. Because like you say, Skip is in days. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. It's just like it's too many people, and he's clearly overshadowed.
Nick Wright. Nick Wright is his name.
Nick Wright. Thank you.
I don't know. I couldn't even think of that, but Nick Wright. Yeah, he's good. I don't think. Let me tell you why I don't think it would have worked with him and Skip. It would have been the same dynamic as Stephen A. with what's the boxing guy. I think Nick can be sometimes
Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman. I think he would have been a little bit too intellectual, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Skip. Because Skip wants to just debate certain things because he knows it will trigger the other person. Right. He just wants to say LeBron is not great just for saying LeBron's not great.
Just to get a reaction.
Nothing to like he does things to get reactions as opposed to, Stephen A. said he didn't want Max Kellerman because he thought he needed someone to kind of challenge him and combat him a lot more than maybe Max would. And Max is very smart. Max is, someone that can articulate, and he's well versed on all types of sports. Boxing obviously is his forte.
Baseball.
But I think he knows his stuff. But see, I think chemistry's sometimes, that matters. How you guys have chemistry, I think that makes a difference. So I think that's why it didn't work. And I think the other thing is Nick going to get up super early in the morning? That show's in LA. What time is Nick getting up? At 1 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, Nick seems like his hair may be dirty some nights. He smokes, he drinks. Like I don't know if Nick is getting up early. So
I don't think so.
That's not his lifestyle. He's not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you would have to be up early. Yeah,
super early. So he lives on the East Coast. I don't think it would. I don't think it would work. Let's quickly talk about First Take.
Okay, good.
Now, I think Shannon is on there Mondays and Tuesdays, and so I think it's the same thing, similar to what you said. I think the only part where I think it's good that they are chummy, but I think sometimes, I know they just went to Colorado, and Stephen A. I guess he provided the private jet for Shannon Sharp, and both of them flew out to Boulder, Colorado to see, the Buffaloes play and all that. I think that there needs to be a healthy forum for them to debate and not be so buddy, because then a lot of times it meshes together.
Right.
What were you
No,
gonna
we
say?
had a comment. Smitty was in the comments. So about the Cowgirls made a statement. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? But we did, Smitty. We made a statement. But go ahead. Go ahead,
what exactly was the statement though? Listen. You made a statement that you can beat up on a team that doesn't have a quarterback that can really. I mean, if you
I'm gonna tell you
take
the
away,
statement we made. Can I tell you the statement we made?
yeah, I'm listening.
I'll come tell you the statement we made.
Divisionally, you made a statement.
That's a statement. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Divisionally, we made a statement. We made a statement to say to everyone in this division, right? We know the Eagles will be the most competitive team against us. But we're gonna let the Commanders know and the Giants know we're not playing no games with y'all. We're wiping the floor with y'all. We got no time to waste energy, effort, players. Thank God we came out that game with no injuries either. No one was on the injury report in that game. So it was a clean victory. Like, we're letting everyone know if you're not on our level, that's it. We're wiping the floor with you. We got our eyes only on one team and one team only. Three things: win the division, beat the Niners, get into the Super Bowl, and win it. That's it. That's it.
Can you get to an NFC Championship game?
When I say beat the Niners, that's what I mean. We're gonna beat y'all in the NFC Championship. What do you think I'm saying? Y'all will be in the NFC Championship. Yeah, and we're gonna beat. So that's it. Beating the Niners is winning the NFC Championship. That's it.
Okay, listen, I like that. That's respect. That's respect. I appreciate
y'all beat
that.
us twice in a row. I'm not gonna sit here and say otherwise. You know, right now, listen, you're the team that's standing in our way. Y'all are right now the better team than the Cowboys because you beat us twice in the playoffs. No matter how competitive this last game was, y'all beat us, D. And so we got to get past y'all. We win the division, we beat the Niners, and we win.
Is it safe to say that we're the best team in the NFC? Is it safe
I would
to
say
that?
y'all are better. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, y'all are better than the Cowboys.
On both sides of the ball? Because
on both sides on both sides of the ball. Only because, again, Shanahan's play calling, I think, is still obviously above Mike McCarthy. I don't think clearly the creativity level is not the same. He clearly uses his weapons better, Shanahan that is, than McCarthy. Well, although McCarthy got
he has better weapons too. I mean, he has better weapons too.
Yeah,
right?
he's got. Well, you know, I think so. But the better weapons because they're more exposed than what Dallas is. You know what I'm trying to say? More exposed because Ayuk and Debo, the way you guys use them, I think we can get more out of some other guys if we use them the right way, and we could see what they can offer us. But we'll see what Mike McCarthy and Scott Schottenheimer Jr. will show us. So we'll see. We'll see.
I saw him looking at that Waffle House menu, and it didn't look impressive. You know, because that's a Waffle House menu. It really is. He's looking up. And he's looking at the menu and calling only 3 plays.
Well, we want to
let me get an all-star.
Let me get an all-star.
Smothered covered. Let me get
a all-star on 2. Break.
Yeah, but listen.
No, you.
And
Smitty got a lot to say here.
Eagles did look. They didn't look.
No, they did.
And so they tried to make it seem it was rust, and because. You know, Jalen didn't play, and but there's no way that you should be going to the end with the Patriots. I mean, really, one bad call or one. Defense, they got a good defense, but where's the offense? Where are their offensive players?
I don't want to defend the Philadelphia Feebles, but the thing is this. Again, like I told you, offenses are going to struggle week 1, and they didn't play. And Sirianni said it in the post game. He wished he would have played his starters a little bit more in the preseason. So I think that's they've done just enough to win, but they did look bad.
Coming off of a Super Bowl, you should really be head and shoulders. I mean, it's pretty much the whole team is just Georgia players. So you should be head and shoulders above the Patriots. I mean, they have a good defense, but they should be applying pressure to Mac Jones so that it shouldn't even be close. They almost lost that game.
That had his moments. Yeah, they almost lost that game. Oh, God, I wish they did. Yeah. They almost lost that game. You're right. Man, I don't want to hear the Sirianni excuses. Bad. No, I feel you, bro. I mean, look, you ain't got no Eagle lovers on this show, so
not at all.
You can dog the Eagles all day. I hate Philadelphia. They whack. garbage. You know what I'm saying? And I know D, what you feel about him, especially after the NFC Championship loss. So I feel you on that.
And they are feeling themselves because I mean, and you know what's so crazy? The Jack Johnson that came in, whoever that quarterback was that came in the 20th, 25th, right? He came in with boxing gloves on. It was football.
Right.
He's still on a team. You know, he's been on. Man,
where's he at?
I forget.
Who's he with now? Yeah,
but I saw him in preseason. He was playing on a team. He's a backup for somebody, and I guess because he has enough mobility to kind of mimic some of the mobile quarterbacks, they keep him around. Maybe he's just a good teammate. He's a good veteran.
He's a good practice squad guy. They can mimic,
but it's like
they can use him to mimic some stuff. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. But listen, good wins. We'll see that the season starts. It's good to start with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think are the Cowgirls. I like that you said Cowgirls. Are they legit?
Smitty, who is your team? I want to know who Smitty's team is, but go ahead. Yeah.
I think their defense is. I think their defense is legit. I think that the jury's still out on, their offense.
Number one offense. All these points we scored.
Can Dak scale back on the interceptions and turnovers, fumbles? If they can do that, then they can be a good team. They can be the number 2 team in the NFC.
Oh, he's a Niner fan. Okay.
Oh, okay then. All right then.
All right.
No wonder.
All right. It's okay. Listen, I could take on both of you guys. It's no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem. Listen. If there's any concerns, and this is truth, okay, no cap. If the concerns out of Dallas is always that, right? Because the defense is legit. The defense ain't gonna lose the game for you. We're not worried about the defense. Special teams was a little scary last year without kicker, but Aubrey looked good through preseason and last night, even though he missed an extra point. But yes, I think Dak is always that concern, right? But I believe that if Dak is put in the right positions, which he will be put into, we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. And Dak last year, like I said, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but the 15 picks that he threw, some of them throws that drops, Noah Brown. Okay, that was the drop that he had against Jacksonville that lost the game for us in overtime. Sometimes the guys did not run their routes right. They weren't in there. You know what I'm saying? The zone reads that they were running as far as the routes down the field. So, but it is what it is. A pick is a pick. But at the end of the day, I think we'll be fine. Dak is going to be fine. He really is. Dak is a dog. I think, he had some bad picks in that playoff game against the 49ers. No question about it. You know what I'm saying? He said, looks familiar to me. No, you're right. I mean, we'll see. I mean, last night, again, no reason for Dak or the Cowboys to go into their bag. I mean, we had already dominated the Giants. And it's raining at that. I mean, that's why the Giants couldn't even really throw the ball as much because, the rain affects both teams. So, we'll see next week. We're going to pull out the bag against the Jets defense, though. We're going to have to do something.
On the just as well as the unjust.
Right. The rain falls on the just as well as the unjust. Right. And the Giants are the unjust. So, look, you know what I mean? But yeah.
So, back to the first take. I think that that format with him popping in for 2 days, I think the only Shannon and Stephen A split on the LeBron Jordan debate, but everything else they seem like they're pretty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
so it's not enough. It's not enough clashing for it to be a good debate show. You get what I'm saying? You got to have enough being on the opposite ends of the spectrum in order to get that good friction where you can really dive into something. But if they both like Dion, Stephen A likes to mix it up with celebrities, and he's not going to ruffle too many, feathers.
No, he's not. He's
what I mean? So
no, he's going to be very.
It's one of those things.
Impartial.
He's gonna. So
yeah,
but we'll see. I think they have a better shot than Undisputed.
No, they definitely do. I think the show format is better, and then the mixture rather. Of personalities that come on there, I think you got a good thing there. Then you still got Molly hosting the show, and that helps too. You know what I'm saying? Undisputed trash, a whole bunch of cowgirl lovers, and one player with sense is Sherman. Yeah, I mean that's what we and D was just talking about. You know what I'm saying, Smitty? That they, it's this. There's no real there's no opposite friction there, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 Cowboy guys, right? Because even Keyshawn, though he pushes back on the Cowboys, but you played for Dallas, so but Sherman, but I ain't gonna lie though, bro, Sherman is brutal to me. He's I don't know.
There's a lot of eye bucking and be able to articulate your point. Eye bucking is not going to be an answer, so I think some of it is a little just be able to with the flow of it, because sometimes they get caught up in who was the best at this, and sometimes you just need to agree to disagree and move on, but be able to hold your point, hold your point, what be able to really hold it down what your opinion is and have some substantiate it with some facts, and then let the chips fall where they may. It seems like with Undisputed, someone needs to be swayed to the other side in order for them to, move on to the next topic.
Correct.
But before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about the Jets and the Bills.
Okay, real quick, let's go.
We got a little preview going. This is going to be Aaron Rodgers' debut. I think this is going to be, like we said, a preview of maybe what Dallas can expect next week, or maybe some of it. Because they're two different teams. Yeah. I like the Jets. I think they might be, as the banking system would say, too big to fail. I think they want, because it's a market. It's the Bills are really the only real New York team. I think the Jets will win. The problem with the Bills and what I think, if they will definitely lose, if Josh Allen gets one-dimensional and he's trying to feed Diggs too much so that he can stroke his ego. If he tries to throw him 30 passes and tries to get him too involved, the problem is they still don't have a run game. They needed to jump on Jonathan Taylor, and I think, Irsay's playing games, but they should have been first in line. Forget Miami. Miami has great wide receivers. They have enough of a running game with Mostert and the other players to manage. The Bills are being held back because they have no run game whatsoever. So they should have been first in line. I think if Josh Allen is spreads the ball around, gets Diggs involved, obviously that's your number one, but get Gabe Davis, get some other players going, I think they have a shot. But I think the Jets, their pressure is going to be, Von Miller's not playing for the Bills, so Aaron Rodgers will have time. Because, their offensive line, that's the Jets' Achilles heel. They don't have a great offensive line. I think their left side is
I believe that's the
kind of weak.
Side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think if Aaron Rodgers has any time, he's going to pick any team apart. He's a great quarterback. I think I like the Jets to win. I don't know what the spread is, but I think I like the Jets to win also because it's, hard knocks and all of that. I think this is, for them to lose would be a utter failure. What do you say?
No, I totally agree with you there. I think the Bills, a lot of pressure falls on them. I mean, obviously Aaron is the center stage of attention, just when it comes to seeing how he's going to perform, new team, and just seeing the chemistry of it. I am concerned a little bit though to see how they play out of an entire game, right? I mean, preseason you get a little sample size, but we don't get the whole gamut there. So things that I'm looking at tonight is seeing how the Jets and how offensively they'll be able to matriculate, to see what kind of command Aaron Rodgers is going to have on these guys when it comes to making adjustments, when it comes to, checking out of things and how that offense is going to be ran, in an entire game, right? Because preseason is just, you're just trying to see some plays, see what works, kind of what you did in practice. Let's see how that, translates into a game situation, if you will. But again, preseason doesn't give you that level of urgency. Now you got to play a whole 4 quarters. What will this game look like in the middle of the third quarter when it's getting crunch time, depending upon the score, how Rodgers, he'll know what he's playing with. In other words, is what I'm just basically trying to say. He's going to know then, hey, what kind of guy do I have in Wilson, and what kind of guy, do I have in Hall and the rest of these guys? What can I expect from these guys, right? Because I know what I had out of Devontae Adams or other guys. Aaron Jones, right? Another great piece he had in the running game back in Green Bay. So now he's going to see really what he has, right? And so that's going to be, because I'm gonna tell you now, Rodgers is finicky, and it's all love right now. But once he's not comfortable with some things, he's gonna start chirping a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But I'll say this: I think that two things shows that he needs this to work. Number one, Jordan Love looked good yesterday.
Yes, he did.
That's first off.
Yeah,
3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
The Bears is the worst defense in the universe.
Yeah,
they ranked
but
25,
still,
but he looked good.
A win is a win.
Plus,
he gave $36 million back. This is Aaron Rodgers that he didn't have to do.
Right.
Part of it was to stub his nose at Green Bay.
Right.
After forcing them to give him, $150 million guaranteed, to give back $36 million, but he also got the running back out of the deal. I wouldn't be surprised if he may look for another. They have given him everything that he has requested.
Right.
He bought some of his boys, that's kind of long in the tooth to still play. So I say all that to say he needs it
Dalvin
to work.
Cook is there too. Yeah.
Right. He gave back money. They got Dalvin Cook.
They get Dalvin Cook, yeah.
I think it should work. And I think Aaron has a vested interest in it working, because now he's being compared to Tom Brady that went to Tampa Bay and had immediate success.
Correct.
So he spent 18 years in Green Bay. He comes there, and for them not to make the playoffs, because anything they do playoff wise, he's going to be part of folklore. He's going to be the man, because they haven't been in the playoffs in so long. So if he gets them to an AFC championship game, forget about it. He's a made man.
No, you're right. He's a made man. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Jets are gonna fall this year, though. They're gonna fall. They're not gonna. I don't think Rodgers is that dude like that. I think he's great. Clear MVP a couple years back, right? Obviously, first ballot Hall of Famer. But when you think about the games in which they lost in the playoffs to your Niners, right? Who pretty much own Rodgers in the playoffs.
We own Dak too, but I mean,
a lot.
Go back to the Niners. We own a lot of teams,
well,
but
listen,
okay.
But the difference is that Dak doesn't have the same pressure, although he does, because he's with he's a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm saying Rodgers, with the expectation and to be in up there with the pantheons of greats, right? Is that these losses that Green Bay had, a lot of that still was on Rodgers, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He always got the benefit of the doubt. It's not his fault. Always the play caller's fault. It was McCarthy's fault. It was LaFleur's fault. It was, it's the defense wasn't what it needed to be. It was always something, right? Now listen, what's going to happen this year? Oh, first year, Rodgers don't really know how these guys are going to perform. And, it's going to be some other excuse that's going to come out. And to me, I don't think Rodgers is big time when it comes to really when it wins. And again, he's playing now.
He's big time in the regular season. He's always big time
he's all that in the regular season. But now, even with the regular season, you're still going to play. You're going to play a good defense in New England. You're going to be playing a really good team with Miami that can put up points, and you got the Bills like tonight. And so you're going to see these teams, right? And you still got the Bengals. You're going to have, you got the Ravens. You got the Chiefs, for that matter, right? You got teams, and Cleveland is another one, right? So these are teams that are all vying for that same positioning when it comes to the playoffs. Listen, Rodgers has got a tough road to win, and I'll be honest with you, AFC is tough. And these guys, and check this out. These are guys that kind of been already in the battles, right? They've been in the throes already from Burrow to Mahomes to Josh Allen, right? Lamar Jackson. These guys have been already in playoff battles already, kind of amongst each other, if you will, right? So there's that thing. Not to say, obviously, the lights don't make Rodgers afraid. He can play in the playoffs, but my thing is he going to be enough? Or will he be able to bring his team to that level? Because the Jets as a whole, that's still an inexperienced team. They're young, they're good, but can they be able to live
Yeah.
up to the expectations of Aaron Rodgers? And can Aaron Rodgers win when it really matters against these other good quarterbacks and teams?
I think he can live up to it
In the
because they
playoffs.
were really, really good. And think of the quarterback play they had last year.
Oh yeah,
Mike
no
White.
question. It was bad.
They had
Mike
the-
White. It was yeah.
He was
good,
actually the best of the group.
Yeah, he was the best of the group, and he
I
was
mean-
taking a pounding and was still playing out there. Yeah.
So I think overall, when you elevate the quarterback, because the defense, the Jets are going to make their bones on the defense. They're still going to be
Right.
a defensively based team. Now,
Right.
you got Robert Saleh, shout out. He was,
Right.
every team wants to poach coaches from us. But okay, Robert Saleh, he looked good. He was a good coach, defensive coach. He comes there, he's the head coach.
right.
I think they'll have a defensive mindset, and just think of their skilled players on the offensive end. You got Dalvin Cook, you got
Right.
Breece Hall, who you're going to bring back slowly, but he was dynamic. You got
Right.
Garrett Wilson.
Right.
You have who else? Who's their tight end? I'm trying to think who their tight end is
For who?
But-
What's him again? One more time.
for the Jets.
for the Jets. I can't remember now. I'm drawing a blank.
But in any case, they have and you have, of course, Aaron Rodgers. So you have enough offensive pieces and experience. He is going to
Tyler
elevate
Conklin.
Tyler Conklin.
Tyler
Okay.
Conklin. Yeah. Mhm.
So you're going to be able to elevate. Now, of course, you got Lazard that you bought over, So you got players that you are comfortable and familiar with. They know the nuances specifically of how you want to play. And then you have this young talent with that bad quarterback play. Who was the offensive player of the year? It was Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what more?
Wilson, yeah.
What more with a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback? I think they'll do just fine. They're going to have to, at some point, maybe beef up the offensive line. And that's going to, the first 6 weeks for the Jets is going to be the toughest. If they can somehow get through their 4-2 or maybe 3-3 and take their lumps, I think they'll have smooth sailing the back end of their season. But they got to deal with you guys. They got Buffalo to deal with. They have some tough defenses. Buffalo to a lesser degree than the Cowboys. But I think, and I just want to say this, there is some dysfunction. I know they kind of shot it down that it wasn't true, but there's some dysfunction with Buffalo. There's dysfunction. So if your star receiver isn't happy and he stopped believing in the quarterback that he can get them over the hump, it's going to play out. The first time they lose a game and Diggs feels like he should have got one extra pass or he was open and they lose the game, because it's already manifested itself. It's already kind of come out. And so where there's smoke, there's fire. They downplayed it. We good here and all this other stuff. But I think that he realizes, seeing other players actually being showcased to a high degree, teams looking at, we won't talk about, Jamar Chase. He looked terrible yesterday, but how he's showcased with Joe Burrow, how they make him a priority and they are winning. They're getting to AFC championship games. They're getting to, deep into the playoffs. They're getting the Super Bowls. That is what Diggs wants. And initially he was sent to Buffalo. He elevated Josh Allen's game, but it seems like it has kind of leveled off. It doesn't seem like Josh Allen. And the key and the reason is they have no running game. Your quarterback cannot be your leading rusher.
Running back. Yeah, he's your leading rusher. And
Because
he loves
if
to
he
run,
gets
and he runs a lot. Yeah, he runs a lot.
Look what happened last time he got hurt. He had the same injury, the UL or whatever injury that Brock Purdy had. He wasn't against the Jets.
Elbow. Yeah.
Remember, he got hurt against the Jets last year, and he was never the same. It altered his season. He was out, and they were trying to bring him back, but it wasn't enough. So at some point, it's going to have to be where this is make it or break it. I think if they move on and they get deep, AFC championship game, if they're able to make it to the Super Bowl, I think Diggs will stay. But if they fizzle out like they have over the last couple of years, I think Diggs is going to want to be traded. He's going to want out. And there'll be some suitors for him. Because it's
no
cold
question,
in
no
Buffalo.
question.
There's so many
Yeah.
reasons not to want to be in Buffalo. They
Buffalo's,
have a fan base. Everybody's jumping and breaking their backs on tables. But overall,
Yeah,
other
they got
than
a crazy
that,
fan base out there.
they got a crazy fan base. They're the only real New York team that actually
They are the only
New
real
York.
New York team because the Giants and
so-
Jets in New Jersey, right?
Right. So, but other than that, it's cold. There's snow up to your eyeballs. There are more attractive destinations that you can ball out. You can be featured as the number one. So I don't see why, they would, if this is it for Josh Allen and Diggs. If they can't get it together and go deep into the playoffs, I think the divorce is
it's definitely
going to happen.
Imminent, no question about it. No, I totally agree. I don't disagree with anything you said. This is a make it or break it year for them, no question about it. So that's why you got to see, and it's unfortunate. You will hope that because that's a really good quarterback receiver tandem, like you would have with Wilson and Rodgers, and like you have with Tua and Tyreek Hill and Burrow and Chase, right? And so you got, you need that. You still need that number one guy, right? You know what I mean? Watson and Cooper. You gotta have that number one guy, and they have that, and they've proven that they can succeed. We saw the numbers. We see the success that they have, but it is in those situations where, Steph wants the ball. And you got to make sure you try your best to get it to him, and Gabe Davis and these other guys are good. They got other weapons there, they're tight end as well. But I think the reality is, Donald, you hit it on the head, and not just like a broken record, but for this team to have any success or to go deeper into the playoffs, at least to an AFC championship game at the minimum, they're going to need to get a running game. And I think even Smitty brought that out about them going to get maybe
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah, would be, hey, bring him in. I think he worked out for somebody, but he didn't end up with a contract. It was somebody about a week ago. I can't remember which team it was. But you got to get somebody in there. You got to get a running back in there. So that's what they're going to need. So we'll see. Tonight's going to be good though.
It's going to be good. It should be a good game.
Watching the Jets. Yeah.
And Smitty, you're right. We have the most cap space. We're in win now mode and still have 41 million.
You can't get those guys to next year. I mean, they're still on the contract. So I mean, you're not going to trade for them unless you're going to sign them, but you would rather maybe get those guys. I mean, unless they're going to be free agents, they're not going to change.
Washington may want to dump Chase Young. Why wouldn't they?
I mean,
if they're not going to sign him to a big payday, why? Listen. We could just utilize how many players are utilized on a 1 year, because it's not because we have the flexibility of the quarterback salary, right? And you were talking about Dak and Brock Purdy. Dak makes $39 million more than Brock Purdy. So he should be showing on the offensive end as opposed to Brock. But I digress. I'll say this: we can make that move.
Well, money-wise, you're going to have to pay him at some point. So,
it could be a 1 year. It could be a 1 year.
No. Here's what's going to happen. If the 49ers get to the NFC Championship.
I'm talking about Chase Young. But
what I'm saying is that, well, go ahead. Finish your point with Chase Young.
I'm saying with Chase Young, we can still, there are positions that if we need to fill, if there's, God forbid, knock on wood, if there's an injury or anything we need to bolster our team, we have the cap space to do so. We can still bring somebody in, make our team, because we're in win now mode. And we benefit from the fact that we have our quarterback is pennies on the dollar. We have an opportunity to add pieces and it won't affect us. Now, obviously, when we go and win the Super Bowl, Brock is going to be looking for a payday. Of course he is. And it will be in our best interest to pay the man. Now, will we jump out the window and give him $275 million fully guaranteed, or at that point, who knows what it is?
But I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Burrow just got $275 with $219 fully guaranteed.
Right. But if Brock Purdy leads the Niners to either NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, he's gonna want Burrow type money. Somewhere in between Burrow and Herbert. Because why? He's earned that. And you're gonna have to pay him. Otherwise, he's gonna hold out, and then you're gonna be stuck with no quarterback again. Because you got no quarterback right now. Outside of him, you got no quarterback. Now, again, If you're relying on Shanahan to bring somebody in and raise somebody up, hey, it could happen, right? If there's any coach that can do that, it is Shanahan. But Brock Purdy, let me tell you something. His success is going to be bittersweet for the Niners because if y'all go deep.
You want that to be no.
Of course, I want that to happen, but
that's
what's
not
going
to happen.
But
that's not what's going to happen.
So you don't think he's going to demand big money if he gets to an NFC Championship game, or and not only get there, but have a really good season, even maybe make a Pro Bowl or something?
I don't think
really good season.
I think if Brock Purdy is smart, if he's smart, he'll take more of a page out of the Mahomes book where he says, okay, I know they're gonna pay me and they have to pay me, but let me build on this success. What's better than one Super Bowl?
He's got his team to 2 straight NFC championships. If y'all get to another NFC championship game at the minimum, that's what I'm 2 straight NFC championship. How much building can he do?
That's fine, but what's better than 1 Super Bowl? 2. What's better than having you? It's better to have the surrounding pieces around you to build success, because at the end of the day, we already know with that type of success, the money is going to be there. You're going to get paid. The Niners would be foolish to let you get us to 2 NFC championship games or win the Super Bowl and now be like, well, we're going to kind of hold out and see. No, we have a benefit of an additional year to build a championship team around you, so that if you have 2 Super Bowls, let's say you win 2 Super Bowls, your payday, you are writing your own check. It's a blank check anytime after another NFC championship game or a Super Bowl.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you. Now, remember, Mahomes and Burrow's going to end up doing the same thing. What's going to happen is they're going to give him the money because Purdy's going to want that money. Because, listen, he'll hold out if he has to. And the Niners don't want that. But what will happen is at some point down the line, if he chooses to, then Purdy would say, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and because we got to sign some guys on defense. That defense is an important part of the success, right? Or we got other guys we're going to need to pay if there's I don't know the contract status.
Ayuk is going to be you got to get, because Debo got his money, right?
Okay.
You got to pay Ayuk. You just gave Hargrave a huge contract. So you just gave Nick Bosa a ridiculous contract.
Right. So yeah. So you guys, what about Warner? What's his contract? I don't know Warner's contract status.
I think he's through 2025. What I'm saying is most of our players are through 2025.
At least for the next 2 to 3 years under contract.
We have another 2 years before we have to pay Brock, this year and next year. After next year, we're going to have to give him his money. You're going to have
to give him his money after this year, bro. I'm telling you, Brock is going to want to get
You want us to have cowboy problems. We're not going to have cowboy problems.
No, I'm telling you. Listen.
And you know who will come to us? You know who will come to us if Brock gets crazy?
Who?
Kirk Cousins. For nothing. No, I'm saying
Kirk Cousins couldn't even play for me for free.
Oh, please.
You want Kirk Cousins? Mr. Non-clutch?
I'm saying that the team.
Don't put him on prime time.
No player is bigger than the team.
Dude, I like Brock Purdy. Sounds good.
I like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy.
Time to get paid, and that man's gonna want to get paid.
I don't think he's gonna hold out. When you look at it, Brock Purdy, you want players, bigger names, right, to go and reset the market and keep. By the time Brock Purdy signs, right, what's the difference between 275 and 300 million? That 25 million is a big deal. Somebody is going to be up for a contract before 2025.
But right now, if you think about it, only because you got Dak coming up with
Dak is coming up
after this year, right? But I'm saying his extension is not going to be crazy, right? And so Dak is under a lot of pressure.
So you hope,
right? No, but what I'm saying is, if Dak doesn't perform well, Dallas may end up moving on from him. I mean, I don't think Jerry's gonna extend his contract for another $200 million or so. You know what I mean?
Cooper Rush,
you got TD and Micah, you got to pay.
Of course. So guys, and me and you talked about this offline. You got more issues to concern yourself with than how Brock Purdy's going to get paid. Right, you either have to pay Dak or start over or try to get Trey, ingratiated and
Trey. We're gonna end up trading Trey. We're gonna get him up enough. We're gonna give him something so people. We can get a fourth out of him. We'll get back what we gave up. That's all. Trey is not. We just want to give him enough so he can be able to be seen by other teams and it makes him get some value.
You wind up paying I think the $6 or $8 million he's due this year and whatever next year, to get a 4th round pick.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that what Dallas is going to end up doing with him is he'll play next year. He's not going to play this year. He'll play because he's still behind Cooper Rush. He's not a better quarterback than Cooper Rush. Rush is a really good, solid backup. He's 5-1 as a starter. He's really good. The thing is that you get Trey to a point where you could see what Trey can do next year, preseason. He's going to get a lot of rep, a lot of burn. Okay, and then you'll see what he can give you. But I don't think Dallas is going to make him a star. To bring him in there, I really think that was more of a Jerry Jones move to kind of put some pressure under Dak. That's really what it was about. And so Dak's got to perform.
But Jerry's not going to sign him back. There's no pressure until it's time for a contract. Right. Dak doesn't feel any pressure from Cooper Rush and Trey Lance.
No, he doesn't. But what I'm saying is that, but with Trey, you can still rehab Trey, get him to a place where you can at least see that he's a serviceable quarterback that can still play in the NFL. You can be a very good backup for a team, and you can get something for him. You know what I mean? Really, you'll get something for him. The $8 million Dallas, we had cap space too, so we was able to give him that. It's really not. It's not a big deal to us because we really good. The only thing I don't like that we didn't get a lot of depth on our offensive line. But what I'm saying, OD, is this, and I'm telling you now, Purdy is going to want to get paid after this year. He has success. He gets a Pro Bowl nomination, a selection rather. He gets to the NFC Championship game, and he was a reason for not just the defense, which we know is the bread and butter, but he played well. And everybody was eating on that. As far as the receiving core was going, he was dealing to everybody. Listen, he's not going to play under that rookie deal come next year. There's no way. He's not playing under that deal. So again, success is going to be bittersweet for the Niners, and y'all going to have to end up paying him because nobody else is coming up with a contract other than Dak for an extension. But really, there's no more quarterbacks that I can think of off the top of my head that is looking at getting paid, beyond their rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that's just it. And remember, Mahomes got his $500 million, but he started to take his pay cuts just last year. But they gave him his money up front. Now they're restructuring his contract like they'll do with Purdy come down the line. But Purdy's gonna get his money up top.
Mahomes
has to pay that man
is the ninth. Mahomes is the 9th highest paid quarterback.
Yeah, now he is, but he wasn't at the time when he signed his deal.
Yeah, but that deal became obsolete really quick. He did 10 years, $450
but that's my point
million.
with Purdy.
But it went quick.
Purdy's deal is going to be obsolete quick because the Niners are going to come back to him and say, look, we got to pay some other guys. Are you willing to restructure your deal? That's what's going to end up happening. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to restructure his contract if he wants to see that success.
So we don't have a franchise tag. We can't franchise tag him, right?
No, because he's still in the contract. You can't. You can only franchise tag once the contract is up. If he's a free agent,
exactly.
You have rights.
So
he was a rookie last year, right?
He was a rookie last year.
Right. So
he's got 3 more years
on his deal.
We're gonna get 2 more years.
He's right now playing for about $20 a week. He's not gonna stay. As the last pick of the draft, his contract is trash.
It's $900,000.
Yeah, so I'm saying, you think he's gonna play? You're gonna lead a team to 2 NFC at the minimum, 2 NFC Championship games in a row, and still play for under $1 million a year? That's not gonna happen, D. You know that's not gonna happen. His agent is gonna be licking his chops, ready to cook. He's gonna be getting your boy Lynch on the horn, like, yo, you know what time it is. You already know what time it is. So what we doing? All right, 280. Take it or leave it. Let's go. That's it.
And he's gonna hold out. You want
hold out?
That is it.
Why would he not hold out? D, why would he not hold out? Why would he not hold out? You think he's gonna play another year and then risk himself getting hurt and then be out of a deal altogether? No way. See, Trey Lance was able to do that because he got #1 money. So he was, he still got paid. You know what I'm saying? He still got paid. He got #1 money, just like the dude from the wide receiver, that Jalen Rager, whatever it is, who turns into a bust and got traded again. But he got $13 million guaranteed off his rookie deal, so he's straight. He got generational wealth. He good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to happen like that, but we'll see. We'll see. I know. Listen, Cowboy fans, because they see their mortality coming. They see the light at the end of the tunnel.
He is so scared. He like, I didn't think about this. I didn't think.
No, I'm
not.
I'm
telling you. I think you better listen.
All of the leverage.
What do you want?
All of the leverage is on the Niners. Have all the leverage at the end of the day.
I'm gonna tell you, and Purdy is legit. I'm not gonna lie.
Think
Purdy
of every quarterback,
really
except for Trey, because he didn't get all the opportunities he should have.
Right.
You can put anybody in that system almost. Remember last year?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback? One of the quarterbacks I said I wanted to come to the Niners. Do you remember? I said recall. Sam Darnold. Do you remember I said that?
Oh yeah. I
said Sam Darnold and I said Jameis Winston. Now, those were the two that I said could still work in the system. We have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is looking decent, a really good backup quarterback. Because all you have to do is be decisive. Get the ball out of your hands. You don't have to be super mobile. He's big and strong enough. Remember, he was a good quarterback in college. So I say all that to say that I don't think in any way, shape, or form, Brock Purdy is going to have anybody over a barrel. He will get paid.
I'm going to tell you what Purdy brings, though, that Garoppolo didn't bring, that even the quarterbacks you mentioned, even with Darnold, who's there now, and even Jameis Winston. Let me tell you something. Purdy is better than all those guys. Okay, even he's better than Trey, even though Trey Lance didn't get a lot of burn, but the short stints that we saw, they weren't that impressive, right? I mean, he didn't shatter the earth with his issues. Yeah, lot of stuff there. Yeah, he didn't shatter the earth.
He didn't have.
But Purdy is more than a system quarterback. I mean,
he is.
He plays in a good system, but he's more than a system quarterback. So, and here's the thing: you're not going to win a Super Bowl. This is just my opinion. With just thinking you can plug and play any quarterback in that system. You need a bona fide quarterback. You need still a guy who can play football as a quarterback. So to win a Super Bowl, because you saw it didn't work with Garoppolo, okay? It didn't work with Garoppolo. So I'm saying you need, at the end of the day, you're going to need a guy who's more than just winning games for you, because that's what you're going to see this year. Garoppolo's like saying, look, it ain't a fluke. I came in the middle of the season, but he still played. Purdy, I'm sorry. Purdy played still very well, and he was no more being like just the guy who looked like a system player, system quarterback. In the beginning, came in from Miami. We were both there at the game. We saw it. He came in. He did his thing, kept it going, and then he started winning games. But you saw the decisiveness. You saw, to your point, long as he's decisive, you saw the confidence. You saw like, this kid can really play football. You know what I mean? He's not a Gardner Minshew who had, or Ryan Fitzpatrick. These guys who just catch lightning in a bottle and they play a good, then all of a sudden they fizzle. Like Purdy's not going to fizzle. I think Purdy's going to be that dude. No, so that's what I'm saying. He's going to have y'all over a barrel if y'all get to an NFC Championship game. And he has a really good, solid year. Now, if he has a pedestrian kind of bus ride in his way there on the defense and, kind of makes a couple throws here and there like Garoppolo did, then yeah, maybe, right? But because Garoppolo, y'all was able to do what y'all did to him because you knew that he wasn't the reason why y'all were winning anyway. If anything, he was more the reason why y'all were losing. But you can't say it against Purdy. Purdy is, listen, it's going to be a problem after this year, bro. So
you want to give him respect now, right?
No, I would. But listen,
you only want to give respect. You was calling him all. You wasn't even calling him his name. You were calling him out his name.
In the beginning,
now you want to give him respect.
In the beginning,
he could potentially a contract could splinter our team. Now you want to give him. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
I'm not saying, but it's imminent though. He's gonna want bread.
What's imminent? What's imminent
is he's going to want to get paid.
Micah,
have a good
Micah
season.
Parsons has to get paid.
Yeah,
what is more pressing?
Listen, we will move from Dak before we move from Parsons and CD. We will move from Dak. No question about it. Dak will be gone. Let me tell you something. Dak don't perform this year. If we lose anything this year because of Dak Prescott, it's a wrap. We're not investing in him anymore.
You know it's a good quarterback class next year, right? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But it's a really good quarterback class. It's supposed to be
I don't know if we'll go with a rookie, but we might have to. I don't know what we will look like after Dak. I don't know. And if we stay with Dak, trust me, he ain't gonna get a contract. His extension's gonna be looking kind of weak. In all honesty.
Why would you say that? Why would it be weak?
Because if he doesn't perform, if he doesn't perform well, like in other words, if he does kind of like what he did last year in the playoffs, right, against y'all with those 2 crucial interceptions, then it's going to be like, yo, he's not the dude. He can't get us over the top.
It's all about in those contract situations. It's all about the timing. It's based on when you become a free agent. They're going to pay Dak. If you think that Dak is going to take a pay cut and he's watching people that are less accomplished than him.
Remember, this is his last year on his guaranteed contract. Huh?
How much did Kyler Murray get paid? He's not taking any big money.
170 somewhere.
Yeah.
I know he didn't get more than 2.
I'm just using that as an example.
Okay.
There are players that have done less than Dak.
Yeah.
Divisionally winning.
Right.
Record-wise, just overall statistics, I don't know what kind of discount you think he's going to give Dallas, but he's still going to expect to get paid in the market of anywhere from 45 to 50 million a year. If you think he's taking low,
Dallas would give him maybe a 1 year for 50. That's it. A 1 year, maybe a 2.
That's the same guy that said that Anthony Davis wouldn't get a max contract. Listen, you have to pay people. People are going to get paid.
But not no 4 year. Like if they give him an extension, he's not going to get like a 3 year, $180 million extension or a 3 year.
So you think Dak is going to play on a what pretty much is a franchise tag? You think he's going to play on a 1 year? There's no stability.
I think it'll be a
2 1 year contract.
2 year, $110 million. I think that's it. Depending upon his performance. Like in other words, if Dak balls out, Pro Bowl, great year, he wasn't the reason why we lost the game in a playoffs or whatever it might be, and he played solid football, and there was no, we can't pin it on him like we did the loss against the 49ers last year, per se, then, you're going to have to pay him because, number one, we really don't have another option. So I do think, to your point, he'll get his money, but I don't think he's going to get maybe what he's looking for. Unless he really balls out and if we lose, and if he even gets us to a Super Bowl and we lose, he's still gonna get his money. He'll get his money. But he's got to get us at least to the NFC Championship, play well in that championship, win or lose. Then he can get his money. Win or lose in the NFC Championship game, Dak's got the ball. Because it's time for Dak to step up. He's got to get it. You got a great defense. At some point, you're going to have to be, to my point with Purdy. Purdy is a good quarterback to where Purdy can make plays and he can actually win a game. He can win games for you.
So is Purdy better than Dak? Let me ask you, is Purdy better than Dak?
No, I don't think he's better than Dak. But I do think he is. But I do think he benefits from Purdy. That is, from a better coaching and better utilization of weaponry, which again goes back to coaching.
So that's why he won't have anyone over a barrel. Is Dak top 10 as a quarterback?
I believe he is.
Okay, so then Brock Purdy has no one over the barrel. Just
matter.
So you know. So
doesn't matter. Wait. You mean to tell me so Brock Purdy
is not
NFC
top
Championship 10. And a Super Bowl.
Listen,
he ain't gonna get his money. He ain't gonna get paid.
He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid on the 49ers time, not on his time. If you're saying that Dak is better than him and Dak is top 10, and you're saying that Dak, he's not going to get what he wants. But Brock Purdy who was the last pick in the draft, who still has a couple of years on his contract, that we're going to be all of a sudden under pressure to sign him to a deal that hurts the team's chances of repeating or being a competitive championship now team. That does not make sense to me. I'll have to see that.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're going to end up seeing. And that contract will get restructured at some point when it's time to pay other guys. And Purdy will be more than happy to do that. But I think this is going to come down to appreciation. That's what this all has come down to. Pay me what I know I'm worth because of what I have accomplished. Y'all have gotten way more value than you could have ever imagined from the last pick in the draft. I have outplayed my rookie contract, right? Yeah. Clearly. So he's going to get paid, obviously, something. But now, could he demand at least a 250 and higher? Absolutely. He's not going to take a deal for 4 years.
That's $160
million.
He's
not if he leads up for
That's exactly what you want.
And that's what he did.
So that our team is no longer dominant. You want to splinter our team over Purdy. The person that you didn't want, the person that you didn't even want to say his name last year. And now all of a sudden you want him to be the catalyst to splinter our team. No way.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen.
Y'all gonna pay him, D.
He's gonna get paid.
He's gonna get paid, and he's gonna get paid what he wants because y'all ain't got it. Y'all are not going to allow that man to hold out and think. You think Sam Darnold's gonna get y'all back? You think Sam Darnold's gonna get y'all somewhere next year? If Purdy gets y'all to an NFC championship,
our offense is so potent. A caveman. They could put a caveman in it. A caveman can get that offense.
There you go with the plug and play. You tell y'all can't win with no plug and play. Said a caveman.
But now that they are allowed to have 3 quarterbacks. One obviously is inactive unless the other 2 get. Then we actually, it does give us some flexibility because we have. I think our team is uniquely designed that the quarterback play is not so important. It's important. You need someone for a West Coast offense. You need certain components. Your quarterback needs to be decisive. He needs to have some mobility. He has to have accuracy. He has to be able to get the ball out of his hands fast. But I don't think he has to be Mahomes. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have to be Justin Fields. He doesn't have to run all over the place. He doesn't have to be Lamar Jackson to be effective and for us to be successful. And I think Brock Purdy knows that. I think.
But can Purdy, let me ask you this question, though. Do you think Purdy in a 2-minute situation, right? 4th quarter, got to get a score or get the team. Can he go 70 yards, right? And put his team in field goal range from his own 10. Can he go?
So. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say. So you can't have a plug and play. A plug and play quarterback doesn't do that. Plug and play is out the window when the game is on the line and you need your team to score. That's when you know you got a quarterback or not. And that's when you're going to see the difference between a Purdy and a Sam Darnold or anybody or a caveman or anybody else you put in there.
Do you think that Dak that kind of quarterback?
At times he is. Yeah, Dak has won a lot of crucial games for us. Dak can do that. Dak can definitely do that. I think
so. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, he'll get paid, but it's contingent upon performance. He has to perform this year. See, you're looking at ranking.
Joe Burrow is getting Joe Burrow is getting $55 million a year. When Dak is
getting $55 million a year, why do you think he's getting that? D?
I don't. Is he more accomplished than Dak Prescott?
That's the point I'm saying to say. You don't think if Purdy gets to an NFC championship at the minimum or even into a Super Bowl, that's not an accomplishment? And you can say he did that in his first full year.
Your team is more in dire straits than our team is. We have cap space. We have players that are willing to restructure. You have players that are ascending players that are going to require.
Yeah.
How much you think Micah Parsons is looking for? Forget what Brock Purdy is trying to get for.
Oh, Micah's going to be the highest paid defensive player easily. No question. He's going to get paid. Right now, who's the highest defensive guy? I can't even remember his name now. Somebody you got Bosa with the deal because Bosa and these guys are setting the market, right? So whatever Bosa just got,
he just got 34 million a year.
So yeah,
he's the highest paid non-quarterback.
Micah's going to look for clearly.
He's going to get 40 million
a year. Yeah,
he's going to get 40 million a year.
Yeah. So he's going to get that. Yeah, and he's going to get that.
And so what is that? What's going to happen to your quarterback?
That's why Dak can't get paid the way he wants to get paid because we got CD and Micah.
Okay, so now we're starting to get to where I want.
Okay.
So you think you will have no leverage because Dak will be done with his contract. Brock Purdy will still, if we have to pay anybody any significant money, Brock Purdy will still be under contract.
And he can hold out. He's going to hold out. He's going to hold out. You think you're going to offer him? So what do you think? You're going to just offer him a contract for a 4-year, $110 $80 million or something like that. You know, you're gonna pay him on the range of a Kirk Cousins or
you laugh at Kirk Cousins. He made a ton of money getting franchise tag.
No, do a lot of franchise tag, right? But he's accomplished nothing. So if anything, why would anybody? If anything, you're gonna demand, if you're Purdy, you can look at a Kirk Cousins and be like, I've exceeded. This man is going to be way more than me. It's
not about the lofty numbers. It's about what the guaranteed money is. Right. So why not give him a contract with guaranteed money? It doesn't have to be the 280 with this, and you have to live out the contract, or it'll be restructured at some point. Why wouldn't you just give him an average that's better than a franchise tag for a quarterback, but still doesn't hurt your cap and makes it and takes away from your flexibility of acquiring or retaining players? That's my point.
Right, exactly. But okay, so look at here. You got Rodgers making $50 million. Russell Wilson is at 49. Murray's at 46.
Burrow's at 55. You got to start with Burrow. He's at 55.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So then, that's right. I forgot Burrow's contract. I just forgot about Burrow's contract. So it's not in here in this list here, right?
So Burrow is 275, 219 fully guaranteed. So
okay, so 219 fully guaranteed, right?
So it's 5 years. 5 years. So he's tied to them for a total of 7 more years. I think his contract goes in through 2028, 2029, something like that.
Okay.
So I think the flexibility.
All right, but if you look at a guy like, okay, so you look at Derek Carr's at $40 million a year, right? Okay. You got Prescott at 40, Stafford's at 40, Kirk Cousins at 35. You don't think if Purdy gets his team to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, you don't think he's going to want at least somewhere in, he's going to want at least Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers type money? You got to give it to him, D. You got to give it to him. And guaranteed money is Deshaun Watson, right? But nobody's getting 230 guaranteed. How much did you say? What you call it?
219.
219, right? So he still didn't exceed Deshaun Watson because nobody's going to do what the Cleveland Browns did. The owners are still upset with the Haslam family or whoever they are. That should have never happened, right? But they did that. 219. So you don't think you got to at least per annum, you're looking at least 40 million. He's going to get more than Derek Carr at least. Derek and Dak, he's going to end up getting at least more than what they got. If he you got to go by accomplishment, D. You got to go by accomplishment. And Purdy has and then plus 2, look at the value in which the Niners got more. Look how that's what their agent's going to say. My God, you paid this guy less than $2 million a year. The last 2 years.
I think it would take for him to get paid and the Niners being inclined to pay him early or a big whopping contract like you're talking about. There would have to be confetti coming down in Las Vegas in February for us to do that. Then maybe then it would make sense.
Okay, so I don't have the list here, but obviously, Burrow just got his money. So he said 219, right? But so Deshaun Watson 230. But before Burrow got his guaranteed, Murray has 189 million guaranteed. Russell Wilson has 165 guaranteed. Rodgers has 150 million guaranteed.
And you know what? Arizona's going to move off. They're trying to kind of position themselves to get Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams, did you see what him and his father said?
No, what did they say?
Caleb, hey, you know what? With this NIL money, I'm just not going to go to any team. I may stay in college an extra year. Because, if they're a college student making 3.8, I mean, look at Shador. I think he's making 3.8, 3.9 million NIL deal. There is no pressure now to go to the next level and rush into a bad deal, rush into a bad situation.
Right.
So Caleb Williams is saying, and his father's saying, well, we may just stay in college another year. The money ain't an issue now because he knows as long as he stays healthy and he doesn't have any catastrophic injury, he's going to get paid. He's probably going to be, unquestioned the first overall pick, but he's not going to do that to go to Arizona. So they're looking, Arizona is looking, and they're suggesting that Kyler Murray might be done for the season. He might not even play this season. And at that point, they may move on from him, count their losses, hopefully get a cheap quarterback. Just like somebody told me that the Lakers had the blueprint of championships. You needed a big team, and the blueprint for NFL teams to be successful is a cheap quarterback that you can build around, or a quarterback that is willing to take less money to build and have the pieces around them in order for them to be successful. That's what we have organically, whether we lucked into it or not. Brock Purdy is he's getting paid below what he is due, his hire. But at the end of the day, if he's smart and he's thinking big picture, let's just say he wins the Super Bowl and they come to him and say, hey, listen, we understand, but we got to pay Warner, or we got to pay this person to make the team successful. We'll give you a bump in pay, but we're not ready to set you up with the big, long extension, or your contract extension. Can you hold out for an additional year?
You actually think he's going to play under that rookie deal after winning the Super Bowl for $900,000? You said a bump in pay. What does that bump in pay look like?
I don't know.
Now I got the up-to-date numbers right here, okay? For guaranteed money. So Deshaun Watson, 230. Burrow's 219. Herbert is 218. Lamar is 185. Jalen Hurts is 179. Okay, so now you got the middle of the pack starts. You got Russell Wilson at 161, Murray at 159. He's gonna want more than Murray. Josh Allen, who's at 150. Mahomes is at 141.
No. Josh Allen's money is about to change dramatically next year. Does that reflect?
Okay, right, but this year. This is 200. This is 2023 though. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So isn't he supposed to get something like? And so what's going to happen is, you're going to see with Josh Allen in particular, the Bills ain't going to have no money because they paid, what's his name? The defensive player. I can't remember his name, who's hurt. They paid him $120 million.
Oh, you talking about Miller? You talking about Miller?
Yeah, Von Miller.
Von Miller, yeah, okay.
They paid him a big, so that's going to directly impact the players that they're able to put around Josh Allen. I mean, Diggs.
No, I agree, but that's my point. I'm not saying he needs to get Joe Burrow money, right? Even if he wins a Super Bowl, you're right, because you gotta have other players around you. That's like Burrow. Burrow's contract is gonna because Jamar Chase has got to get paid too.
You got to get paid. T. Higgins, they may lose. T.
Higgins is leaving. They didn't renew his contract. Higgins is hitting free agency.
Right. So then the team,
he's gone.
Will they be as dominant? You got Tyler Boyd. You got T. Higgins. You got Mixon. You got Jamar Chase. You just paid Burrow.
They worked his contract out because remember he wanted a new deal, and they just remember he's part of the whole running back issues there, right? They wasn't trying to pay him what he was asking for, so he had to accept what they ended up paying him. So really, it's Chase and really being able to get some guys on defense and stuff like that. They're gonna have to free agency. But what I'm saying is that with Purdy is not going to act for anything less than at least $160 million guaranteed. He's going to get more than Wilson, who's number 6 right now. So Wilson, Murray, Josh, Patrick Mahomes, and Matt Stafford at the bottoms of the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Going up from Russell Wilson, who's number 6 at $161 million. He's going to want at least that. That's what you're going to have to at least give him. There's no way around it. You're not going to give him you're not going to get Matthew Stafford numbers for $130 million. He's going to want more than that. Ain't no way you're going to sit there and tell this guy, hey, we're going to give you a 4-year deal, you know what I'm saying, and here's for $120 million with $80 million guaranteed. Are you kidding me? After he either wins or gets his team to the Super Bowl?
But why does it have to be $80 million guaranteed? Why don't you just give him?
So how much would you give him?
Why can't you give him 120 with,
Not gonna happen.
Why couldn't you give him 120 fully guaranteed?
Why would no? Because if I'm Purdy,
because it's about the average. It's about what you're bringing home, and it's about the average. He shouldn't go even after winning a Super Bowl. He shouldn't go to the number 1 quarterback. He shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't. No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You got to go at least between the 5th and 6th quarterbacks as far as either per annum, which is Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Murray's making 46 a year. Russell is making 48 a year, right? And Russell's getting 161 million guaranteed, and Kyler's getting 159. If you notice how these numbers go, these guys are within $3 to $4 million apart from one another, right? So it's all about, all right, just give me an extra $2 million, and I'm higher than this guy. But you gotta say, if you're Purdy and you win a Super Bowl, D, you mean to tell me he's not going to settle for what Josh Allen is getting, and even Matthew Stafford, and even Kyler Murray? He's not. I mean, only guy that, even though Patrick Mahomes is only 141 million guaranteed, but he's going to they're going to end up giving him even a new contract at some point. They'll restructure his contract. Mahomes. Oh, Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes. He's right now getting 45 million a year, but they'll restructure his joint at some point.
For sure. Because he has two Super Bowls. My question to you is this. Yeah. So hypothetically speaking, in Bizarro world, if Dak wins the Super Bowl, how much would they pay Dak? He's already at $40 million. How much would they pay him a year?
Dak, if he's getting $40 million a year right now, Dak is going to get more than Hurts. He's going to get more than Lamar, which is $51 and $52 million respectfully. So he's going to get somewhere in the range of what he's going to at least get what Justin Herbert is getting, 52.
So he wouldn't reset the market, right? He wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. No, I don't think he'll get more than Burrow per year. I don't think he'll get more than that. No, but if they give him that, it'll probably be for maybe 3 years. I don't know if he could retire as the Cowboys. He's 8 years into the game now. You figure Dak's only got maybe another good 4 years left of playing at a decent level. So even Dallas will be careful then to extend his contract too much, because you don't want to start paying a guy $60 million, whatever it is, in his last year of his contract. And Dak ain't going to be that dude like that. I mean, really, in all honesty, Dak is really pretty much, in my opinion, I have to be honest, he's pretty much hit his ceiling. He's not going to be any better than what he is. He just now has to be good in situations. That's it. That's all. He's not going to go for 6,000 yards and, throw for 50 touchdowns a year. That's not what's going to happen with Dak. Dak just has to be good situationally now at this point of his career. He
said 40 for Purdy in 3 years is a steal. Great value. I agree. I think we're not pressed to rush and get Purdy.
So 40, 12, so
$39 million increase in your. Come on now.
But not if he gets into a Super Bowl, D. See, what I'm saying is you're not paying him because of the fact that there's nobody else you can replace him with, like a lot of these other quarterbacks got paid. Like, in all honesty, Dak got his money because really we had no other option. Who are we going to bring in? We had nobody to go to. You had an opportunity
to pay him for cheap, and you kicked the can.
Right, which was Dallas.
He was a fourth round pick.
He was a fourth round pick.
Imagine the last pick of the draft.
Right, but that's all I'm saying. So if he's the last pick of the draft and he gets your team to a Super Bowl at the minimum, or even an NFC championship game, and plays well in that championship game, win or lose, bro, he's not getting $40 million a year for 3 years. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
$40 million a year.
A year for 3 years. That's a $120 million contract.
I think that's a great deal.
Not for the accomplishment. No, it ain't. Because they're gonna say, bro, I gave you a $250 million performance because I got you to a Super Bowl.
But when you give,
other guys haven't done yet.
There's a logic behind giving a 3-year contract to a 23, 24. I think his birthday just passed, or his birthday might be this weekend. Giving that kind of contract to a person gives you the opportunity after a year or so to go right back into the till when they have more money. You're kicking the can. That's all you're doing. So instead of it's like in business, you either want repeat customers or you want to fleece them and get all that you can. But that's a foolish kind of mentality. So you do 3 years, you take under what you really should be getting, but you go right back and you get at that point.
You gotta understand, you talking football, D. This don't last long. He can get hurt. You already just had a bad injury already, right? He was able to rehab and able to recover.
That wasn't career ending.
No, it wasn't. But I'm saying that was still an injury, right? And what I'm saying is that even though he had time to recover, what happens if that injury happens in the middle of the season and he misses a lot of games, right? And what I'm saying is that and somebody else now comes in, and let's just say y'all able to find somebody out the diamond in the rough like you did with him, and now he plays successfully or plays moderately well, and then the 49ers still have some level of success, right? Now Purdy's losing out on the bag. He can't take that chance. If I'm Purdy and I get you to a Super Bowl or NFC Championship, ain't no way you're going to diss me with a 3-year, $40 million per year. That's garbage. That's trash. I need the bag now. It ain't about, see, you thinking from the team perspective, yeah, that's a good thing for the team. But a guy that's got to get his bag now, not going to happen. Your first contract is your biggest one because he's not going to get a big, you think they're going to give him a 3-year, 140 and then sign him to a $250 million contract later on? No, the numbers go down after the first contract, not up. It ain't happening. Yeah, unless you're a Rodgers or a Brady or something like that. But that's not going to happen. He's not. Listen, bro. He's going to.
Do you think that the contract is going to go down for Mahomes? The contract's not going down for Joe Burrow. We're talking about a 23, 24-year-old quarterback. So if he still has success, why would it go? If I'm able to get, let's just say 140, and then in another year or so, I'm able to get another 150. So now I've bumped up my yearly average by 5 to 10 million. That is a smarter deal. And let me tell you,
not for Purdy though, because he's not.
But the team, Shanahan and Lynch are going to do what's best for the team. At the end of the day,
of course, like
they gave away all those picks, all that to get Trey Lance. And where is Trey Lance at?
Yeah, and they took the L on that.
In his hat. So they will move on from. They'll move on from what they think. If it's,
but Trey didn't perform like Purdy. I mean,
I understand that.
Yeah. So,
but if Brock Purdy is going to cost the team in totality, which is what is a bigger part? Because Jimmy G, he couldn't stay healthy, but he had a lot of success.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If Purdy plays well, right, gets him to a Super Bowl, big contract coming up. Let me ask you this. If you got Deebo Samuels coming up with a contract that needs to get paid, let's just say, I'm saying hypothetically, and you got Purdy. Y'all just went to a Super Bowl, right? Win or lose, y'all went in the Super Bowl. Purdy played well, Pro Bowl, everything, right? Put up good numbers, everything. Somebody's going to be sacrificed somewhere, right? You ain't going to be able to sign everybody back. Somebody's going to get sacrificed somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. If you got a Deebo and a Purdy that has to get paid, who you think you giving that money to?
Brock Purdy.
Precisely my point.
But that's because that is because
get paid.
Right, but that is because you have Ayuk. You would have to. Exactly. You would also have to think, because you have to take into consideration that Brock Purdy's trajectory going through the roof was synonymous with CMC's arrival. So those things, that's something that you need to also, the people that got
but what does that have to do? But what is but I'm saying, but if Purdy still performs well, CMC, obviously CMC makes life easier, right? But again, when it comes time for contract play, it doesn't matter. CMC can play with a rookie Sam Darnold in Charlotte. He played when he was with the Jets, but at the one point with Charlotte, or even if CMC, him. In other words, my point is that Purdy still, his performance will still stand out alone. He's not going to be that quarterback to say like how Dak was, right? It was always Zeke made Dak, right? It was the O-line. It was somebody else that made Dak. If Purdy stands out, now, yes, Purdy is in a good system. He's got weapons. So no one is going to just say it's all Purdy and then it's everybody else. But my point is that if Purdy plays well and gets y'all to a championship at the minimum and plays well even in that game, win or lose, you cannot just say that he's just part of a system. And CMC, whose numbers are going to go down at some point, he's a running back. He's got miles on him. He may not have the kind of season he needs to have next year, and his contract value is going to definitely go down. So he done saw the last of his big payday. So what I'm saying is that you're going to end up, even if it gets to a point where you look at a Fred Warner or somebody else, and you look at a Brock Purdy who's playing as a top 10 quarterback at some point, or top 5 over the last 2.5 years or so, bye, Fred. I know you.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
but he has to be at that point. You said he wasn't top 10. You said
No,
he wasn't top 10.
No, we're talking about hypotheticals. What I'm saying is, no, I don't think he's top 10 now. But D, if he gets y'all to a championship, all I'm saying, here's the moral of the story. Get to a NFC championship game with Purdy playing well at the minimum. He's holding out next year. He wants his money. He ain't playing under that rookie deal anymore. That's my point. So,
speaking of holdouts, Chris Jones just ended his holdout. So he's
what did they pay him?
It says
he just got paid. Okay,
1 year deal. Let's see what the numbers are.
A 1 year deal. Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah,
that's
Jones
scary.
did not report to training camp. Final season of his 4-year, $80 million contract.
$20 million.
$20 million? That's
yeah, Jones received incentives in the new contract that allow him to earn more than incentives to allow him to earn more than $19.5 million. He was scheduled to make this season, so it's more than what he was going to make. What he was scheduled to make.
He already had 10 million, almost 10 million in fines. I mean, he had some ridiculous amount in fines. So I don't see what they're going to hand you a check and then you going to hand back a. I mean, what?
Well, we'll know what they'll probably do, but this is what they usually do. They end up waiving those.
That's
can't.
What they do. You can't waive them.
You can't waive those. I think
they waive them.
I don't know. Well, maybe
you can't waive them. The only reason
but
why
they can put him in the contract, right? In other words,
I don't think so. The only reason why they could waive Nick Bosa's is because he was on he had a 5th year. If you're under contract, you hold out, they can't waive your fines for not showing up. I think
wouldn't they add that into his contract as his agent can negotiate? Because I've heard that happen before. Where the money that he was fined for,
they changed that over. I think they changed that in the last year or two. That they used to be able to hold out and they would just forgive it and still pay you, once they came to terms. I don't think they can do that anymore. There's certain contracts. If you're on your rookie contract, they can waive it because you're in negotiations. But if you're already under contract, and you can double check and verify this, they can't waive the fines for not showing up to training camp and the mandatory whatevers.
Right. Okay. Well, he lost 1.1 million from missing game 1. That's what he forfeited his game check for 1.1 million. So I don't know.
50,000 during training camp, $50,000 a day.
That's a lot of. Well, I mean, he ended. Oh, that's a lot of bread. Yeah, he probably lost at least. I mean, training camp was what? You talking almost 2 months of training camp, maybe, I guess.
Yeah. He lost a lot of money.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread. Yeah. From what I'm reading here, it just says Jones receive incentives in the new contract that would allow him to earn more than the $19.5 million. So he was going to make $20 million this year because he was on a 4-year, $80 million contract. He was in the final year of that. Mm-hmm. So obviously he was getting $20 million on the last end of his contract, which would have been this year. So he's going to make a little bit more than what he had. And it's a 1-year deal. So obviously he's going to test the market again.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna. So if he balls out crazy, that's it. He's testing the market. And you know what he's saying? Know what he's pretty much saying? I'm done with Kansas City. I'm gonna play out my last year. Give me a little bit more than what I would have gotten, and I'm gonna play. And then I'm gone. Same thing with Mike Evans, T. Higgins. These guys are done, man. They hitting the market. They're gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
So listen, what a great show, man.
Yo,
welcome back, Brooklyn Beards and Ball season 2.
Back, baby. Back.
Real quick before we go, can we get a score of the Jets and Bills game?
Boy, good question. Oh, man. Jets. No, actually, I'm going with the Bills. I want the Bills to win. So, but I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. 27-22 Bills.
Oh, jeez. Okay, 27-22 Bills.
Yeah.
I like the Jets. 24-17. 24-17 Jets.
Okay.
Once again, shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Shouts out to Kingdom Creative for the production. Please, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We are back, season 2. We have a lot in store. We have a lot of football to talk about. We're going to delve into Deion Sanders in Colorado more. We're going to discuss so much. 49ers, Cowboys. Oh, man. Rod, thanks for joining me. Until
no doubt,
next
my bro.
Time, peace.
Peace.
I gotta get to the.
Don't worry, I'll hold it up for us.